So alcohol's the easiest place to pull calories from. Think about like UK society in general. Alcohol is the glue that attaches society together. You go to a birthday party, it's alcohol. A gender reveal, it's alcohol. A christening, a funeral, a wedding, a work colleague leaving, a work colleague joining, everything. It's just instilled and we're conditioned to use alcohol. I drink alcohol. I've abused it in the past and I enjoy alcohol in moderation now. It's not that you can't drink alcohol at all, throughout this process. You make your own choices. It's just more about moderating it and being accountable for it and picking and choosing your times. A lot of the time, consumption of alcohol is just a habit. We do it on autopilot. It's just, again, because it's so ingrained within us as adults in the UK society, it becomes a big part of our life. So for a period of time, we're trying to promote the reduction of alcohol intake and also understanding that, we can utilize those calories, keep ourselves full and energized and get good nutrients from food instead of that. But there's going to be a time throughout the next 8 weeks, I'm sure, that you've got social events, you might be eating out, whatever it may be. So we don't expect you to completely give it up at all. It's just about understanding how you should approach those situations and understanding like alcohol from calories it's like a fourth macronutrient really. There is calories in alcohol, they're just empty. There's no nutritional value from that. And we just end up getting wankered when we drink it. But that will generally lead to bad decisions with things like nutrition. Certainly the day after, very easy when you're rough, dehydrated, feeling like arse, just to want to get something easy, convenient, highly palatable, processed, a Deliveroo, a takeaway, whatever that may be. So you really want to be stacking the odds in your favour by reducing the amount of alcohol you bring on board. When you do have these events, you can approach the situations a couple of ways. The first thing you want to do is change the actual drink that you're having. So swapping out pints, sugary cocktails, like I think a pina colada has about 500 calories in it. When you start tracking this shit, you'll start realizing just how many calories are in these things that that are a moment on the lips, lifetime on the hips. Swap out for like diet, spirits and diet mixes. You can literally go, right, I'm going to go out. You can usually eyeball how many drinks you have. You'll be like, right, well, I'm actually just going to make sure when I go out, I'm going to have gin and slimline tonic or slimline lemonade, whatever it is. Let's just say your drink's 150 calories. I usually have 10 drinks. So that means that night out's going to cost us 1,500 calories from my weekly budget, which is cool. You can accept it for what it is and go 1,500 calories over and eat your normal food. But what we want to do in a fat loss program is make sure that we're hitting those calories regardless of whether we go out or not. So in order to do that, you need to either calorie bank, which means, for example, 5 days running up to the actual event or the night out. If you know that you're going to need 1,500 calories spare, you might pull those calories from the 5 days prior so that you can go into that event knowing that you've ate less during the week so that you can spend more calorie-wise on a weekend. It's no different to like finances. People don't spend, like you've heard of weekend millionaires, people tend to spend a lot less money during the week and then more on a weekend. You need to save that money first so you can spend it on the weekend. The same goes for your calories. When you have been out as well, just make sure that you've got food prepared, accessible in the fridge for the next day. So you're just removing that reliance on a delivery or something that's easy, accessible and convenient, because you're human. Your body's going to scream at you wanting you to do that. You'll have probably had disrupted sleep as a result of the alcohol intake. You'll be dehydrated. When you're dehydrated, your body mistakes dehydration for hunger. You'll also, because of a lack of sleep, have increased levels of ghrelin, which is a hunger hormone. That, coupled with the dehydration, makes it very easy to just order something to suppress that feeling. So make sure that you've got some form of preparation or prepared meals available for you, or something that is going to prevent you from, getting a Deliveroo or going to the chippy or whatever that may be. When it comes to eating out, again, we don't expect you to never eat out. You've got to understand that this is about sustainability. It's about finding, a good balance and understanding how to navigate these situations when you're trying to lose body fat, not just with us, beyond. And when you've reached your fat loss goal, it's important that you understand how to do these things so you can then be an authority in your own physique moving forward. This is not just about giving you an 8-week result and fucking off and then you going back to square one. It's about giving you the tools to be able to navigate these things moving forward. So when you go out, you're going to find calories in a lot of the main chain menus. So an easy way for you to go out and not be stressed about your caloric content is by everyone goes to Nando's, but like going places where you can actually be accountable, or accountability is provided for you on the menu. But look, you're gonna go places where you don't have that luxury. In that scenario, you can just look at the one. It might seem a bit alien picking something that isn't necessarily what you'd usually go for when we're not working in a calorie deficit. So like you might go to a restaurant and there might be like something that looks fucking banging, covered in cheese and grease and shit, but because you've committed to this, this goal, this journey, we would expect you, and you should expect from yourself to be able to, look at a more sensible choice. Now that doesn't necessarily mean a meal that might look healthy, because some of the salads in these places now have like over 1,000 calories in them. So it's about looking at a dish on the menu and finding out if you can do this before you go, great. But just like finding a like for like on MyFitnessPal. So if you go somewhere and you have a burger and it's not tracked, then you can probably find a main chain, a similar burger at a main chain, whether it's TGI Fridays, whatever it is, similar content. It's going to give you like a rough there or thereabouts. Like a medium fries in one place and a medium fries in another is going to give you give or take, but it's the best thing that we're going to have, just to give you an idea of what your consumption's been. This is probably one of the biggest things that stops people losing body fat, because they're just not aware of the calories they take on board when they go eat out or when they get takeaways and things. There's generally a lot, and especially as a female, the portion sizes you get when you go to a restaurant versus what you'd make yourself can sometimes be twice the size. So it's just having a conscious awareness of those things, and like enjoy your meals out, but like everybody knows how to make sensible choices, and you do need to have a little bit more time, or put a bit of time aside to go into your MyFitnessPal and be like, right, this is what I'm eating. You don't necessarily have to have starters. You don't have to have desserts. And remember, we can't expect to live the same way and achieve different results. There's got to be a trade-off. And this is one of them trade-offs, trying to limit the amount of calories we bring on board through eating out. Again, go and enjoy them, be social, have the event, have a good laugh with people. That's ultimately what you're truly there for. You're not actually there, if you think about it, you're not actually there for the food, because the same group might meet and go and do something else that doesn't involve food. You're there for the social element, to see your friends and family, have some fun. It doesn't mean you have to go absolutely bananas with your calorie intake, okay? And then more often than not, you end up regretting it the next day and then feeling like you have to punish yourself for it. Not what happens, all right? So when you're approaching these events, proper prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. Put some time aside to see where you're going, have a look at the menu, see what, you can go into that whole experience with peace of mind, knowing that you're accountable and that you can come into your progress review and be like, yep, hit my calories, all good, still lost body fat, enjoyed a meal out or enjoyed a couple of drinks, and then you'll start understanding that, fat loss can be sustainable.